What's up, everybody? Matt here with OddsJam on my solo YouTube channel, and it's time to give my official Super Bowl predictions. I feel like I've had a ton of different content out for the Super Bowl. I gave a betting preview. I gave why I think I like points to be scored in this game. Both teams, team totals individually. The overs are good. The total, I hit the over as well. I talked about my player prop betting preview. I talked about novelty props that I like. And then just yesterday, depending on when you're watching this, I came out with an anytime touchdown score best bets as well. I think I might have said straight up who I think is going to win, but I'm just here to give you official predictions now for this game, talking a little bit more in depth about matchups and everything. I will say before I get started, I would appreciate it as I try to grow my solo YouTube channel. If you guys could like the video, subscribe to the channel would help me out a ton, again, as I try to grow this. But we can get right into it. So first things first, I do want to give a little bit of an update to just the lines. And it's actually been pretty stagnant for about 10 days or so. When the lines first opened, it's actually kind of funny. The very first line that opened was from Circa Sportsbook, was Chiefs -2.5. It very, very quickly, when every other sportsbook started to post their odds, went to Eagles -2.5. The best odds you could have gotten on the Eagles money line was at like -130 at one point. Now, as the week has gone on, the weeks have gone on, the money has slowly started to shift back towards the Chiefs, with the Eagles still being the favorite, but not quite as aggressive as the favorite as they were. Looking at the spread, majority of sportsbooks have this as Eagles -1.5. Couple books have it at Chiefs +2. Like if you have Ballybet or WinBet, not a horrible value play if you're just looking to bet on value, which obviously is the easiest way to make money, is to bet on value. Chiefs +2 is pretty good value. The total has been hammered. It opened up at 49.5. It slowly got bet up to 50.5 and 51, where it is now. I like points to be scored in this game. I don't really like the total anywhere around where it is now. So I would probably sit out a total bet at this point. So that's a look at the main lines. In terms of the matchups, Eagles offense versus Chiefs defense, Chiefs offense versus Eagles defense. We'll start with the Eagles offense first. So the Chiefs defense, starting a ton of rookies, perform a little bit better than their stats look. The reason why: Chiefs are always winning. Teams are always trying to play catch up on the Chiefs. So they surrender a lot of yards, but in terms of their advanced metrics and how they've performed as the season's gone on, their defense has actually been better than you would expect from a Kansas City Chiefs defense. I mean, their defense won them the game against Jacksonville and kind of won them the game against Cincinnati. They gave up 20 points to the Bengals. Now, the Bengals had a banged up O-line, lost Tyler Boyd at the beginning of that game. Chiefs also lost L'Jarius Sneed at the beginning of that game as well. But to me, I think the biggest question mark that the Eagles have on offense, well, I guess there's two. Number one, is Hurts healthy? Is he going to be able to make all the throws that he made prior to the shoulder injury? Now, this game is going to be played 8 weeks after he initially got hurt. I'm expecting him to be close to 100%. I think he will be able to make all the deep shots that he previously made, again, before the injury. Then the biggest question outside of that, to me, is the aggressive style that Spags plays defense. Jalen Hurts has been incredible all year. One scenario in which he is not quite elite at is against the blitz. He's just mere league average against the blitz. So he's elite in pretty much every other category except the blitz. And there were a couple games in which Hurts struggled, and a lot of that had to do with creative, aggressive blitz packages. Think about the Cardinals game in Week 5, one of the worst offensive performances that the Eagles had. Same thing kind of happened in Week 18 against the Giants, although it's hard to put really too much stock into that one because the Eagles had a preseason game plan just trying to survive. Giants were playing their second string, but they got a ton of free rushers on Hurts, and he didn't really react to it well. And Spags is known for his aggressive blitz packages. So the Eagles being able to pick that up is going to be a huge deal in how their offense performs in this game. Now, with that said, I'm confident in their offense. It's almost as if the Eagles have a cheat code on offense where they could just rely on their ground game. Against the 49ers, they had 3 straight drives where they only got 1 first down total in 3 straight drives. After that, they were really struggling. They said, you know what? We're just going to lean on the ground game. They had a 16-play drive, scored a touchdown. Yes, aided by a couple penalties, but still legit penalties and still aided by the ground game. And I think that there's really no scenario in which the Chiefs will be able to stop the Eagles' rushing attack. So really, it's going to come down to game script. If the Eagles don't get down multiple scores early, they're going to be able to have that run game. They're going to be able to have that success against the run. Chris Jones is incredible, not as good of a run blocker. The Chiefs are known for more having pass rushers along their defensive line than they do run stuffers. And even the run stuffers the Eagles have played, smoked them. Dexter Lawrence and against the Giants, smoked them. Against the 49ers the following week, I mean, they just have an incredible defense total. Eagles smoked them in the ground game. So I'm expecting the Eagles to have success on offense. On the other side of the ball, I'm also expecting the Chiefs to have success on offense. Obviously, I think Mahomes is going to have a good game. Hot take, you heard it here first from Jedi Modi. Mahomes is good at football. To me, the most interesting thing is what the Eagles do with their front. Their defensive line. The Eagles love to play a 5-down front on early downs, basically dissuading teams from having success running the ball. The first half of the year, pretty much up until that Washington game, the Eagles' first loss, they were below average against the run. They made a bunch of changes since then, most notably signed Ndamukong Suh and Linval Joseph, have been really good. Really good. If you look at their splits before and after, really good against the run after that. So it's going to be interesting what the Chiefs do, because the way the Chiefs play offense, they don't like to spread teams out like they used to. They play a lot of 2 tight end, 3 tight end sets. So if the Eagles get into their 5-down looks, the Chiefs will have success passing out of that, most notably passing to their tight ends not named Travis Kelce, Noah Gray, Justin Watson, Jody Fortson, I think is his name. I think that the mediocre second, third, fourth string tight ends might actually have a lot of success in this game. The reason why is if the Eagles play that 5-down front and the Chiefs pass out of it, the Eagles are going to need one of, if not both of, Hassan Reddick and Josh Sweat to play coverage. And that's obviously not what you want them to do. You want them rushing the passer. And if the Eagles decide to play not the 5-man front, the Eagles don't have a traditional 4-3 defense, which means 4 defensive linemen, 3 linebackers. At most, they play 2 linebackers on the field, and they either play an extra defensive lineman or player in the secondary. So if the Eagles play the 4-down front with 2 linebackers and 5 defensive backs, that leaves them vulnerable to the run. So the question is, if the Eagles play that style of defense, will Andy Reid be able to stick with the run enough? Will he be confident enough sticking with the run game, which is not what Andy Reid is known to do? Everybody knows Andy Reid loves to pass the ball. So it's going to be an interesting cat and mouse game where do the Eagles do they start the game with their 4-down front, and do they dare Andy Reid to run the ball? Or do they play their traditional, this is how they prefer to play, 5-down style defense with the 5 defensive linemen, and see how it goes from there? The reason why this is such a unique matchup specifically for the Chiefs than it is any other team is because now that the Chiefs traded Tyreek Hill, they play more 2 tight end, 3 tight end sets than any other team in the NFL, and they're also the most successful out of it, more than any other team in the NFL. So it's a bigger challenge specifically against the Chiefs. If you take out just the Mahomes being fantastic factor, it's a bigger challenge against the Chiefs than it is on the majority of teams. So that is the matchups, kind of high level, offense versus defense. One matchup that I didn't quite talk about yet is, which I think will have a huge outcome in the game. Obviously, this isn't a super hot take, but I haven't mentioned yet the Eagles receivers against the Chiefs cornerbacks. The big plays, in my opinion, will be there for the Eagles receivers. The Chiefs like to play aggressive with their cornerbacks, like to get their hands on, play press coverage, which if the Eagles can break that, you can have a lot of success down the field, because if you beat them off the line, then they're trailing, and then that leaves them open. The Chiefs also play 3 rookies in the secondary that play heavy minutes. So I think that the Eagles could have success with Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown as well. But it really depends on how the blitz packages, if they confuse Hurts or not. So I do think that the Eagles will be able to win their one-on-one matchups on the outside. I am a little bit nervous about Hurts being able to hit them depending on the blitz packages with Spags. So that is kind of the matchups, the high-level matchups regarding the game. Let's get into the actual predictions. And I'm going to be as specific as possible. So if I get any of this right, I can clip it, I can go back to it and claim what a genius I am. But here's what I think happens. I think the Eagles get out to a double-digit lead in the first half. I think the Eagles are up 20-10, 17-7, something like that at halftime. I think they get the ball first. I think they score first because that's what the Eagles have done all year is they have scored on their opening drive. They're really, really good on their opening drive. What I think happens is I think both teams, the Eagles and the Chiefs, have a good first drive. I think they either both get points in some way. Touchdown, field goal, 2 touchdowns, 2 field goals, whatever. I do think both of them have success on their very first drive. And then I think the rest of the first quarter and half of the second quarter, there's going to be a little bit of a lull. This happens a ton in Eagles versus Chiefs game where the defenses, the offenses are kind of feeling each other out. It's a chess match over the course of the first quarter into the second quarter. The Eagles, as they have done all year, I think blow it open, scored 2 touchdowns in the second quarter. So I think the Eagles have 3 scores total in the first half, 2 touchdowns, 1 field goal. I think 2 of those scores happen in the second quarter. So I like the first half over. I like the first half Eagles team total over as well because the Eagles have been starting fast all year. So Eagles have a double-digit lead at halftime. I can assure you, not a single human being in the entire world, I mean Eagles fan, I should say, is comfortable with a double-digit lead at halftime. I can assure you. Then, right off the bat, starting the third quarter, the Chiefs score back-to-back touchdowns. They take the lead in the third quarter. Right off the bat, they score. Eagles go 3 and out. Chiefs score again. Everybody in Philadelphia is freaking out. I think we go back and forth a little bit, and what happens is, in the closing minutes of the fourth quarter, the Eagles have the ball with a 3-point lead, and I think they take a ton of time off the clock. They've done this all year. They have a long drive where they lean on their run game. They take the ball down to the Chiefs' red zone. They aren't able to score a touchdown, but they do get a field goal to go up by 6. Now the Chiefs need a touchdown, extra point to take the lead. There's less than a minute left. Andy Reid has already burned all of his timeouts. Everybody is freaking out, saying you left too much time for Patrick Mahomes, but the Eagles are able to get the stop in the fourth quarter. They leave the game with a 6-point victory. They beat Andy Reid. They beat Patrick Mahomes. They secure one of the best seasons ever with Jalen Hurts starting at quarterback. They go 17-1 in games that Jalen Hurts started. Everybody is partying, and that is my official prediction. Eagles win 34-28. Lock it in. You heard it here first. Yes, playing Patrick Mahomes is scary. I think the Eagles have the better roster. I think this is an interesting kind of test of what's more important, the best roster or the best quarterback. I think the best roster wins out because Hurts is no slouch himself. Eagles win. You heard it here first. So appreciate everybody watching. Appreciate everybody tuning in to all of these Super Bowl videos. We will watch the game. We will see what happens. And then starting next week, I will have a bunch of non-Super Bowl related content for you guys to enjoy. But that's it. So remember to like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff helps me out a ton. And that's it. So thanks for watching and have a good one.